Hey everyone, this is Keith Bear with Possum Sausage Forge. Working on a pair of tongs. Thought I'd show you guys welding reins on a pair of twist tongs. I learned this technique at the gathering hosted by Barton Forge. I think it was Bill Corey was the one that was showing this. He showed the twist tongs, and he was working on a personal set that had welded reins instead of drawing them out. So I got one half made, and what's going to happen, grab a piece of soapstone. These, I have a center punch mark right here. These will get fullered to leave about 3/8 material at the top. Because this is 3/8 thick material, it's 3/8 by 3/4. So that'll get fullered and then twisted, and this will become the bit, this will become the boss. I will punch and drift a hole for the pivot, and then you have your reins. And the reins, the scarf has been welded and drawn out like that. Can't see it too well, but so I started with some 3/8 thick by 3/4 wide material. I cut it 3 1/4 inches long. I put a center punch mark at 1 inch, and there was another one at 1 inch right here. This 1 inch I drew out into a shank, put a scarf on it, and while it was hot I fluxed it. This is a piece of 3/8 round stock. I upset the end to 7/16, not quite half an inch. Upset that, and then I put a scarf on it, dressed the sides, and fluxed it. And honestly, these were scraps. I don't know how long it is. The rein, this piece is 10 1/2. And then there's another up here, about 2 inch, so about 12 1/2 inch, I guess. Well, I guess we can just grab this piece. This came out to 12 inch. So 12 inch reins. It's going to be a fairly light duty pair of tongs, just kind of playing around, trying different techniques. Yeah, I thought I would bring you guys along, and we'll see if we can weld these guys up, dress that all nice and pretty, make a pair of tongs. So what I'm going to do is, when I put the boss bit piece in the forge, I'm actually going to push it past the hot spot just a bit so I can get more heat up in here, so it's not a heat sink. I'll get that up nice like an orange heat, and then I'll pull it back a bit and get this up here into a welding temperature. And I'll have the reins kind of on the side of the fire so they can be preheating while I'm preheating this area. Only take a minute or two. And for forge welding, I prefer, this is a 3-pound little sledge. I prefer that for welding. It's my general duty hammer anyway, but for setting welds, I like, I'm not going to call it a heavy hammer, but a 3-pound, you know, that's towards the top end of like a everyday use sort of deal. Might be the top end of everyday.
It's not that amazing to me.
4-pound for
notebook made the
8 or 10
list.
hours.
Forrest Gump is number 5. I find that weird. It's trendy to hate on Forrest Gump, but I think
I like
the
the weight for setting,
my favorite quote about
because you aren't really swinging. You just want that solid set.
That seems mean-spirited.
You're just getting them to stick together.
Number 6 on the list, Jurassic World could not
You don't
agree
go,
more. I do not
don't
like
go
the
wailing
Jurassic
on it.
World
You
movies,
just
the Jurassic
a
movies.
nice
Don't like them at all.
solid
Actually, outside of the
squish.
first Jurassic Park,
That's why you,
none
I mean,
of
you
them are
can
really worth
forge
watching
weld, you
in
know,
my
with a
mind.
press.
And
All
I
you're
was
doing
trying
is pushing
to
them
defend
together.
yesterday. My wife and I were talking
That's all
about
you need.
Jurassic Park movies. In the second one, I'm like, you know what? Maybe the second one, I'll let that one slide. But the third one has some girl doing
Hopefully, Roy's not watching.
gymnastics
Get
to
my
kick a velociraptor
nice
through the
tight
window.
fit
My wife
glove
was like,
on.
well, that's part two. I'm like, well, there you go. Part two sucks too.
The Indiana Secretary of State would like to remind you that primary election day is May 2nd. Indiana's elections are safe, accessible, and private. Registered voters can vote in person, and if you can't vote in person, learn about absentee voting and more at indianavoters.com. Make your voice heard. This message is sponsored by the Indiana
Since I got the
Secretary of
forge
State,
going,
aired in
don't
cooperation
forget your
with
safety
the
squints.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do
So
incredible
that
things.
3/8 round stock
We
for
believe
rain
there's an
is
innovator
already
in
getting
all
up
of
to
us.
almost a yellow heat, so
For
I
advice
just
on
pulled
smart
that
PCs
way off
powered
to the
by
side.
Intel V Pro that's built for business. Call the Dell Technologies
It'll take
advisor
a lot
at
longer for the
877-ASK-DELL.
3/8 by
And
3/4
now
to heat
another
up.
phone call that never
It's actually
happened.
10 millimeter by 20
Can I
millimeter,
help you?
Hi there.
which
Yeah,
is
we have
close enough
cockroaches,
for all
and
intents
I
and
was wondering
purposes.
how I can make sure they don't leave.
But
They're so cute.
looks like we're getting some heat in it.
Yeah, my daughter loves them. In fact, she named them already. It would break her heart
So there you
if
can
they
see,
left.
In real life, we want bugs gone.
looks like yellow on
That's
camera. That
what
this
we
is like a
do.
dull orange now,
We're
but
Billy's Bug Busters. One call and
So what I'm
bugs
gonna
home.
do-
For a free inspection and quote, go to
billysbugs.com.
Have you heard the bug?
I'm gonna put this in the fire. I'm gonna put the to be struck side up. This will be a drop tong weld. So I'm gonna come over here to the anvil. I'm gonna set this down, drop the tongs while I lay the rain on there. I drop the tongs, I'll pick the hammer up and set the weld.
Low monthly payment?
That's
That
the
could
idea.
be yours. Need more for your trade? That could be yours. I'm paying up to
So now I
$3
get
grand more
that
than your old ride's worth.
set in there. I don't want it super deep in the fire.
What
That's
if
where
I
the
call it
oxygen
Snuff
Oh,
is.
honey, it'll be
I'll dig
okay.
around a
My
little bit.
hive will come together to help you.
Get a
We
nice
sweeten
good
up the
spot
letters who
for it.
want to say yes to you. So
Take
you
the
can
rain.
be happy in a car you love.
I'm
But
putting the
hurry,
rain
this deal won't be around long. I'm
slightly
Fred Brody, and I'm
above,
the dealer for the people.
but right next to
Reagan Stay on Coliseum. Call 422-5000 or get pre-approved at
the shank on the
RoadieNation.com.
boss.
That's RoadieNation.com.
Because
Offers do not combine.
the shank on the boss has a bit more mass to it, so I wanted a bit lower so we get heat. Get more heat to it, but it's also colder, so it's going to take a bit longer for it to heat up. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take,
Sounds cool. It's
barely pull that rain out and make sure that
classic
the,
rock
this is
block.
just my preferred method, make sure that the face that's going to get welded is up. So I'm going to pull, here we'll go like this. This will be the welded, the final welded. They're both in the fire like this. So I can take the boss bit and just go straight to the anvil, and then it's more natural for me to grab the rain round stock, and when I turn to the anvil, my hand will roll over and flip over, I can set the weld. That's just natural for me. So both welded faces are up. Another thing that I believe helps a smit is the faces are up, they're away from the direct blast of the air. They may oxidize less, I don't know for a fact, but just kind of my take on it. It works for me. Speaking of the oxidizing, flux, so yes, you can weld without flux. I prefer to use flux. I have power steering in my truck. I'm not going to take that out, even though you can steer without power steering. It just helps. But flux is not, you know, it's not a super glue for metal. It doesn't do anything to help fill welds. All that flux does, as far as I know, unless there's some special flux you can get. I know some flux has iron filings in it, which yes, does help fill your seams. But the main thing flux will do is it becomes a liquid on the surface, and when you go to set that weld and squish the pieces together, that liquid squirts out and it blows all the oxidization out. That's my take on flux. That's what I think it does. That's all I kind of trust it for. Now, another thing I'm looking for in my fire is, and a good key that I'm at welding is there's a lot of, I see it as a dirty or dark yellow flame right above my steel. At the gathering, Bill Gordon was talking about that. He sees it as green, but he thinks it is the copper burning out the steel, which makes sense. The surface of the steel is not welding, so it's molten. The copper's going to burn. And I'm seeing a lot of that yellow right now. There's going to be sparks coming out. I saw a couple sparks, so I'm going to slow my blower down, hand crank blower, because I want a reducing atmosphere. So I could let that get up to molten all day long. It's not going to burn. And I want to let it soak at welding. It'll give me the best possible chance for a weld is when it's heated through. I think we're right about there, so let's go ahead and go for it. We're actually stuck in the forge. And that right there is welded, and that right there is hot. That's what Roy was talking about, the tight fitting gloves. I'm going to quench just the handle, just the rain area.
This is Drew, an old Michigander who's been reporting a long time.
That was burning me, and I kind of let it slip, and it got off. But that is welded. I'm not going to brush it, because for all I know, it is barely tacked. So all I'm going to do is flux it. We'll go back in the fire. So even though when it welded, I don't know if you can see that, but if this was the bit, I don't know if I can show this here. This is the bit, this was the rein, it was like this. The top of the rein was pretty well centered, but the boss shank was kind of off to the side. That's okay. What I'm going to do is my next heat, I'm going to reinforce that weld, do a second weld just straight down, be coming down this way, reset those, and then later on I will try to bring this up almost at a 45. I don't want to bring it straight up, but I don't want to bring it straight this way. It's like a 45 into itself. But the reason I didn't try to correct that when I set the weld is because that was a tacking weld. Guarantee you, 99 times out of 100, it would have just snapped right off. Just set the weld, flux it, back in the forge. Now if it's way off, actually when I did that first set, first pair I showed you, first half I showed you at the beginning of the video, it was way off. And that was kind of a goof because I had my hammer up here and I took the tongs, and when I set the piece down, I dropped the tongs, and when I went to pick up the hammer, I hit it and the hammer fell off the anvil and it landed way over here. So I'm holding the rein up here, the bit's on the anvil, and I come around and pick up this hammer, and by the time I set it, it was way off to the side. So all I did is I turned it up on edge, gave it a pop, and that weld broke free. And then I was able to heat it back. I brushed it, brushed all that scale off, because that was a lot of time oxidizing. Brushed that scale off, refluxed it back and forth, well, it just fine the next time. So I got a nice yellow flame coming up here in the middle, that dirty yellow. So if I crank very fast, you're going to start seeing sparks. Because, yep, there's a little spark right there. So I'm just going to slow down the air. Let that heat really soak in there. Got a couple tiny little sparks coming out. I'm just going to slow down a bit more. So I just want that welding temperature to just soak, and it'll actually, to an extent, weld itself just sitting here in the fire at welding temperature, as long as it's not oxidizing, because the surface of the steel is getting molten, and by the capillary action, same way flux works, that liquid steel will find its way into those crevices. So to an extent, it will self-weld, but just letting that soak in there,
Get your share
probably
of
pretty good.
$50,000 with the 96.3
So second weld, what I'm going to do,
Hit the jackpot.
a couple blows straight down to kind of reinforce that weld. I'll come to the front scarf, the scarf on the rein, and set that down. I'll brush it, reflex it, and then take a look at it and get a game plan for straightening out that kink that I got. And I'll probably also have to cool it off because I wear them tight fitting gloves. Drop for you. That is very, very toasty. Alright, so I'm going to cool that off. See that beautiful weld? Oh, wait, nope, that was off. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up to welding temperature, and I'm going to hammer from your view straight down this way. It's actually at a diagonal, so I'm going to hammer this way in and drive that bit material back into the handle. At the end of the day, it was a successful weld. Just a little bit whopper jawed. Finally got some more Coke. I also made myself this little manger so I can keep that manger full of Coke. Forge. Yep. Okay. So get this up to welding temperature, and I'll try it on the 45. A little bit risky. I'm 45 degrees off the shear plane. This is only the third welding heat, so probably know it may pop and just get to start all over. That's the fun part of welding. Got a little bit of a dark yellow flame coming out right in the front. But it's mostly blue and lighter yellow flame. It's kind of hard to tell when you first add new fuel to the forge because you're burning off all the impurities. This is Coke, not coal, so it should be fairly clean. I don't get a bunch of clinker on this. The Coke, when it's burning, does not act sticky.
The police
So it doesn't feel like there's a bunch of impurities in it.
We got Def Leppard
But
coming
there
up
is
right around
still
the corner
some.
from Pyromania.
That's the whole point of the
Bad
fire.
Company from
It's
Straight
burning
Shoot.
your off-gassing flammable material. But there's definitely a darker yellow in the middle. So we're probably getting getting up there. My first pull out of the fire. I'll just get my bearings real quick, figure out which way I need to drive it, and try just a couple blows. I'm going to take this easy. There we go. It's getting real dark yellow now to my eyes. Nice dirty yellow, not dark yellow, dirty yellow flame. It's almost like a brownish color.
Johnny told his mama, hey mama, I'm going away.
If I keep up this speed, we're going to start seeing sparks eventually. Yep, there's some sparks coming up. So I'm going to slow down just a touch. I know that I'm at that temperature now, so I'm going to slow down just enough oxygen to keep that heat, but not excessive oxygen to burn it and make it start scaling up on me. Right there is probably about good. So like I said, I'm going to take it out and give it a quick look, get my bearings, and a couple blows just to get it going where I want. Brush it, flux it, back in the fire. A little bit too much starch for my liking. Alright. So you notice how that it was like some thud. There was a couple of hollow sounding thuds when I started, and then it went ping. Not really ping, but it was a higher pitch. Those more thud sounds was the metals coming together. That's two. And this ping sound was it's now one metal. I got a bit more rebound in the hammer, more energy went into the anvil, made the anvil ring. It's kind of like hitting, hitting something soft on the anvil and hitting something hard, even though that's not a good comparison, but you get what I mean. So you can see, by driving that on the diagonal, if we come straight on, it's offset this way. If we come from the side, it's offset that way. So essentially what I've done is I've scarf welded it on the diagonal, even though that was not my intention, but it's welded and fluxed. So now what I'm going to do, since it welded that way, is I'll get it back in the fire, I'll turn this on a 45, and this is how I will finish off the weld on the 45. Just because that's going to be the natural plane that's going to weld on. See if we can get this all on one video, since I don't have video editing software, and apparently my video recorder on my phone cuts me off at 33 minutes, I think. We're already at 22. Time flies when you're at the forge. If you listen to the wind, you can stay on your place. Just in case it does cut me off before we're done, at this point it's welded. I've had 3 good welding heats on it. The scarfs seem to be, the points of your ends of the weld seem to be set down. So at this point it's just working it all down, dressing it. Starting to get a bit of dark yellow in that flame. About the same speed, just a good healthy blast. It's not blowing full out, but the fire's growing. I'm cranking it hard enough that the fire's getting bigger, and then as I get that bigger yellow flame right above my steel, it starts slowing down. There's a little spark right there. Got that big yellow fire. It seems to be a good sign that I'm up there at welding temperature. I'm just going to slow down. That soak for a little bit, and a couple little fires here and there. Now really, you don't want the flyers. That means your steel's burning. It also means you're up to temperature. You're past temperature, but it is hot enough as long as you aren't oxidizing. The flyers mean you're oxidizing. So if I'm at the point where if I crank just a little bit harder it sparks, but if I slow down it doesn't, I like that because that means I am at or a little above welding, but I know it's not oxidizing. I'll take that, work on that 45 like I said. I'm going to come from both sides now. Just start blending all this guy in. Looks like that scarf didn't stick too well. Kind of squared it up a little bit. Straighten it out. Give it a good wire brush.
On 96.3 XA Fort Wayne, bicycle.
Go ahead and flux it while it's hot. The scarves did not take very well. Probably because I forged on the 45 on the diagonal. And then I came back and tried squaring it up. Should have waited to square it up. Pull off the handle. Back in the fire. Probably getting there. So we're at 26 minutes. Alright, so we'll see if I can go ahead and blend those scarps in. Get it squared up before the video cuts off. It's kind of like a no pressure, hurry up and forge weld it and get it cleaned up before the video ends. Now one thing I have noticed, every now and then I see sparks coming out, but I don't see that yellow flame. When I was doing that first set, the first half, there I got a bit more yellow flames and I slow down. But when I was doing that first half, I was seeing all these little fires come out, little sparks. So I thought I was burning the steel. I'd slow down, didn't see any sparks, I'd speed up, see sparks. Alright, I'm at that temperature, so I pulled it out, and it was at like an orange heat. I think it's slag from all the flux down by my fire pot. So all these little random flyers every now and then, don't worry too much about those, because I think it's from the flux and metal at welding temperature dropping down the fire pot. Exactly right there. Go ahead and take her out. Go ahead and set that scarf down. Come back on 45 a little bit, set that guy down. Round it up some. Alright, that's that guy. I just need to get the front one. A quick scrub. Give it a quick flux. That was a lot of flux. Sorry, Roy. Go off the handle real quick. Get her back in the fire. Get that next weld set. Looks like we're at 28 minutes and 40 seconds. I can edit the front a little bit shorter in the video. The front and back I can cut it, but I can't edit anything out of the middle. At least on the video editing software that comes with the phone. But I think we'll be alright. This next heat, get that front scarf set down, get it dressed up a bit. I can show you the final product. That's the basic to it. A lot easier than drawing the reins out, for sure. You get a nice yellow flame in the middle. There's a little spark there, slow down just a touch. I'm gonna let this sit in here for a little bit. I want to get some good heat in there. Scarves are the hardest part for me to set down. I think it's because the the
That
thinner
lever off of
material you start,
Pyromania,
especially the more
SKE. Number one
failed
class
welds you
rock, hang
get,
tight.
the
We've
more
got news
attempts
right
that
around the
you
corner
try,
from New York
the
City,
thinner the
so
scarf
stick around
gets,
for that.
which means
So
the
make sure
faster
you're
it
listening
cools
tomorrow
off.
morning at 10 a.m. when
So
Doc
you gotta
West
be snappy
gets on the
when you
air.
come
He's
to
going to
the
have
anvil to
a
try and
really
set it.
cool concert announcement, a show coming to the Coliseum in September. So I'm going to tell you. There's a show
Well, I
coming to the
said
Coliseum
that,
in
probably
September.
jinxed myself,
Doc will
but-
tell you all about it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here on 96.3
Alright, that's
XKE.
good enough there.
We got a winner.
Going over to the anvil.
Get your share of $50,000 with the 96.3 XKE
Put that
cash
down.
winner.
Mixing this up just a bit.
Perfect. I'm gonna go on vacation with my kids.
Great.
Hi, this is Jody. This is Colin. My name's Tiffany Patterson.
amazing
and
how
I just won $1,000
Whopper jawed
on
everything is when you're welding like this.
Feel like to finally witness
Taking 20 heats and welding on the diagonal.
The $50,000 cash grab, powered by Midwest America Federal Credit Union. Rules and details at 96.3xke.com.
things are a little
You get
bit
better
tough
with
all
each
over right
weld,
now.
you build
I
more
mean,
confidence
have you
with
been to
each
the
weld.
grocery store lately?
$8 eggs.
What the ever loving?
Round off these
Fiscally
corners right
responsible
there at the
folks at
scarf.
20 past 4 or more feel your pain.
Get that
They want to help you
transition
save some
going in
green
a bit.
by slashing 25% off the prices on their
Got a little
entire
bit of
inventory
seam
of
on that
sterling
scarf.
silver
I'll
jewelry
probably
and
come
their
back
full
and
line of metaphysical items.
Try and dress that weld up a bit.
Dude, that's like,
But I'll do that after I end the video.
20 past 4 or more also has
Go ahead
manager
and pull
specials
that guy
throughout
off.
the store. Plus, offers military, first responders, and student discounts to save even more on lots of cool gear. Head to either location, Broadway, south of Matt Anthony's.
So there
or
you
north
go.
on Clinton. Buy some
There's
silver jewelry
two
for that
halves of the
special
pair of
someone.
tongs.
Score some good karma
Just
for
need to
yourself. And save
notch
some
them,
cash
twist
while you're
them,
at it. After
just like a
all,
pair of
you're gonna
rapid
need it for that
tongs.
crudité platter
Just do
you're
like
taking
this.
to the office next week. 20 past 4 or more.
There you go.
A whole lot more for less.
Bit easier than drawing those reins out.
You can buy a car anywhere. So why buy Kelly?
Thanks for watching. Hope this helps somebody.
Of course.
Kelly Automotive Group's an exceptional.
If you aren't sure about it because you don't trust yourself welding,
every turn.
just
Like
do it.
Experienced factory-trained technicians
Just do it.
at all of our service drive locations.
The more welds you do, the more confident you'll get.
For as long as you own your vehicle.
However many times you fail,
Not just any car
just
wash,
keep doing it.
but
Keep
an
trying until you figure it out.
ultra-modern soft touch car wash. And best of all,
And then once you think you have it figured out, keep trying. You'll find out you don't have it figured out. And you'll have fun doing it. Thanks for watching.